so much more into the funds. It's putting a lot of stress on the family for all the I and R, the influence coming into the fund, because there's so much more coming in.
I don't want to go by it.
We have the funds, we actually have the funds to pay, we have the funds to pay for bubble. We have, I think about $35,000, we can pay for this to go forward. We're just not sure what Boris is gonna cost us, because it has to get done.
It doesn't, I mean, with the amount of books that we have to cover, it doesn't.
This is basically to let y'all know what's gonna keep going with that.
Always in the budget. Next month.
Yeah, let's get a price on it, you know, see what it's gonna cost.
It puts us over, we come in next month.
Right, that's right. I mean, the thing is, I agree with, Councilman Malbrough. We're going to, do an open check, you know.
We also have a lot of extra water that we processing that we're gonna pay for because it's being processed and then next
No,
year
no,
they'll go and
this-
tax us
they
again
have
on our
the money for
gallons
this.
because,
They have the money for the main line.
Let's do it. Why wait for a bid, get it done, everybody you process it,
No,
no
this
water,
right
next
here,
year you don't want
this is-
another penny.
This has already been bidded out. We got the, you know, they got the okay to pay for it.
Is a motion by Councilman Quimby is what Dina suggested?
It would, yes.
That's right. Councilman, you will make a motion to the issue we're addressing. I certainly will second that.
Well, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and proceed on the Botro pipeline near the sewer plant. If we have the funds already in the budget, go ahead and have that done, and keep us informed on the Barus cost, and next meeting, if we have to, we'll amend the budget from there. You know what I mean? They can wait up to 90 days for their money. You know?
Second. Any questions or discussion? Any
So,
questions or discussion?
I have this is actually a question. So if one is an emergency situation and the Barros is an emergency situation, Votros, I'm assuming we're gonna get on that like ASAP, right? So I'm assuming also that within the next few days, at least we should get an email, right, indicating where we are, what the costs are, et cetera, so that
Yeah.
we can at least have an idea, be prepared to have an emergency meeting and amend the budget or whatever.
And have those before completion each week.
No, not upon completion. Just, for example, whatever the monies are available, just whenever we all get to the point where we need to possibly amend the budget.
Right,
And-
in other words,
yeah.
that's what I mean.
Right.
This Barber Street project, if it's complete, might be completed tomorrow. Because according to Mr. Harris, depending on whether it's finished tomorrow, I'm going to forward and that's what it wants to in relation to the project.
Okay,
The one that doing the emergency, he must have done the Botro line or it's two different companies?
okay, any more questions? All right, all in
Can
favor?
I just add something? We are in good shape. We budgeted $1,143,000, $1,143,000 in revenues. Looks like we've spent half of that. So we have the remainder of the year left, which ends in September. We are in good shape.
for how, that's what I wanna hear, that I'm gonna use my money right, so not next year you don't come and ask me for a raise and try to send me some more water.
Spoken like a true taxpayer.
That's it, that's what I'm here for.
Like, that's water and sewer together.
I understand, but the sewer sucking in the water costing me more.
Well, yeah, but it's not broken right there. Oh, the current should apply.
The weakest part was where it broke, that's what.
Well, I think the OMP job is pretty important to keep that in mind, because that's taking in sewer from my district, Gene's
My
district, and
district,
Jim's
Report to
district.
the
Absolutely.
And
that- And certainly, to your point, Councilman, we definitely need to get that taken care of, because we are in hurricane season, and I don't know if everyone's been hearing, but there's major storm projected for this season. So we know how we get water, and then we have flooding issues, so let's do what we have to do to minimize that now.
The more pressure you put on the system, the worse.
The worse it all, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, let's vote on this. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, moving on. Okay, police department building, update on repairs to air conditioning and ventilation. Okay, as most of you know, we do have a problem with ventilation at the police department. Right now, they're in the process of removing insulation and setting everything up, back up, checking for mold, vice versa, and getting ready to relocate the air conditioners, take them off the roof, put them on the side of the building so we don't have to run into that problem again. And Mr. Habits is in charge of doing this. And Todd, you maybe bring us up a little bit more up to.
Yeah, the mechanical engineer has reviewed the system. They're gonna submit to us a packet for the design. They should have it by next week. To present to us, the council, Brad, for approval, for the expenditures as to what it's actually gonna cost. So, how we have that, I guess we can all start over to go forward for that, for the actual cost is gonna be. The ductwork is gonna be replaced. As the mayor said, the air conditioning system is gonna be replaced. And everything that was considered to be incorrect, I guess would be the correct word to say, as far as the design, the system, and other contracts that we've drawn, will all be, like I said, put in the packet and given to us to present to the council and also for our insurance. As of right now, it would be about another week as I spoke to Mr. Harris today. For the time that the police will be out, we're looking for another 2 weeks.
We need to get this fixed as soon as ASAP, because,
They alerted.
that's, I mean, that's, our police department right now is building a useless tool.
Which goes without saying.
So Todd, in this report, I think it says maintenance and repair to the police department. I'm looking at consumption right here, but they are already in the red, $1,000. Where the police department is staying in there, how they are related, it's just, but they will be have budgeted.
This is, that has.
I'm just asking.
I think she's
I'm just
asking.
thinking out loud, I
Yeah.
don't know.
bid it.
What's, is Mr. Mayor doing it? What you think, Tim? The question, the discussion was, the budget, the question was the chief's budget, the police department budget is over budget right now as a result of the repairs to the building. I said, I don't know if that's a police department budget issue or a general fund issue, but I think Burton Court would probably answer that better, Mr. Mayor, you can put you on the spot right there, I think that should cover it. Town church building. That's what I said, it's a town building. Administrative wise, the chief's budget is what it is for salaries, vehicles, equipment, so on.
But it's line issue repairs and maintenance for police department.
Yeah, and it is an issue like that.
Is that
but I
the
don't- I'm not
building or is
an
that
expert.
vehicles and?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I think Burton Court needs to be calling this because, you
No
know,
vehicles.
chief's budget, that was totally unexpected.
Vehicles has a separate code.
Everything lined up because.
Yeah, it's on, and that's what I'm asking, I don't know. That's what
I
I'm
don't know,
asking.
that was a very good question.
What's repair and maintenance?
Oh, auto
That's
expense,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Well, once again, I think Brad's right, I think it goes back to Mr. Cole.
Yeah,
That's a question for the CPA.
Okay, we have but I think what you just said, ma'am, is important for us to hear.
I
Say what you
said,
got,
I
please.
do the billing at the police department, that was when we had to call people to come out to see about the air conditioning. Maintenance is like, we got pest control comes once a month, it's put under
I don't
there.
have a problem with that, I think that's a
Yeah,
budget, that's a
that
police
would
department
be-
budget, but you have a major,
But I mean, the air
almost a
conditioning.
catastrophe in that building, I don't know if that should be on the police department budget. I don't think it should, that's just my opinion, Mr. Cole will tell us tomorrow, I will call him,
How old is it?
8 years old, 9 years old.
I'm just curious.
You go back on the building.
That's
I wish
exactly
you
my
could,
point.
so if you know what I know about that building, let me tell you something, that is just
But
a,
if
that's
that's
a
under
prime
federal
shame.
grant,
And it's a contract issue you have between the air conditioning, the air conditioning ducts, and you have a metal roof, and that's all you have. It's gonna cause condensation, all the problems we have now. That's not a result of any council member's vote, a mayor, nothing. It's the contract to do it went to town, which that's, I'm trying to find a way to see if I can do it, to get them to come to the table and say, answer these questions, but I don't know.
but that contract
Not
has to have
sure.
insurance, not like any other
Oh,
contract.
yeah, oh, yeah,
It's gotta have
sure.
insurance for that, to pay all this mess,
Yeah.
man.
You
I
look
know
in the
I
ceiling,
paid
it's
for
just tin.
Huh?
You look in the ceiling, it's tin.
Yeah,
I understand that, but when we do
Who deals-
contracting, we got a 2-10 policy, 2 years on any kind of labor you do and 10 years of material and everything else that you have to have insurance for. And we pay for that yearly, so this guy's gotta have it.
I'm sure, yeah, we're working on that right now. 660,000 and you have nothing between the ducts and the roof and the ceiling? Come on, man.
Floorboard. It was made with floorboard.
The problem is, we didn't have an inspector like Cootie at that time that could've went and checked that Cootie, that
Right.
could've went and checked it. That was the biggest problem they didn't have. People, now you put them in people, and people in town are mad. We've got people that watch for us, but we've got it in place now. That's why we had this problem. We didn't have people to inspect the building. People just did whatever the hell they wanted.
There's a way to remedy the situation from my point of view. I would certainly do it.
But,
It's not there yet.
but the people, the contractors, all that's in there, the equipment and all that has been ordered, it's been designed, ordered, come in, and as soon as they have everything to specs, what should be for this particular building, council will be alerted, and the supervisor will be back in there as soon as possible.
So they're gonna downsize it instead of having that 4 or 5 ton, they're only need a 1 ton, and they're gonna do all that.
They're gonna,
They're gonna
exactly
do it
what
right.
you said, they're gonna do it correctly. And then as to what the size of the building, what the design should be, and they're gonna give their opinion what it should be.
I think Brad hit it on the spot that, Todd, they're hiring, a mechanical engineer to design this light. And that's very important. We have to have that documented, Brad,
Yeah,
forward with any
That's
investigation.
That's on a federal grant, but there's gotta be something to go about. Some of the government's gonna allow that.
Yeah, you just gotta do this with grants. It is a serious process. It really is.
Well, that's what I'm
Very, very,
That was a simple.
strict process, so to speak.
They're gonna give them so we can give the recommendations as to what's going to be moving forward.
Okay, any more questions?
Okay, now let me, one more question. According to the minutes of the last meeting, not the special meeting, but July 10th meeting, we have an estimated cost of $58,800 for this work already.
That is estimated. But you'll have a definite, that cost will come way down, you know, that was just.
No, I'm just asking that.
Yes.
Estimated cost.
They could come down, it's not specific, we don't have that just.
Any more questions? Comments? Okay, let's move on.
Mayor,
Yes.
where are they gonna put the air conditioning? Is that not put them on the ground? If it floods over there, that water's gonna get in and you.
They're gonna raise it up.
We gotta raise it.
They gonna raise it up.
Okay, any more? Questions, comments? Okay,
Nobody,
number 3, legal resolutions, we don't have any?
Maybe I have a question about a past issue. Where are we with the amended resolution involving Mr. Mayor and his company? Remember the last meeting we discussed submitting an amended resolution that would allow Mr. Mayor and his firm to participate when the time is appropriate in that grant situation.
Nothing, nobody came
Well,
in, said anything.
Well, I think for the last two meetings, I requested that an amended resolution be submitted allowing Mr. Mayor to participate in the decision or in the opportunity to do business with the town when that time is appropriate.
Did y'all go back on the minutes?
I'm sorry, go ahead, right ahead.
Did y'all go back on the recording of the,
Yes, well, back on the report,
y'all didn't hear it?
it's not there.
So the discussion was held. That did occur. And so what I'm asking at this time, since it is not, that information is not included in the minutes, then I'm asking once again that an amended resolution is submitted as the council requested, or we might have to have the television recording to verify that the conversation actually took place.
Quick, let me ask that, you had a motion to amend the agenda to discuss this item on the time, yeah.
It was not on the agenda.
Now we make a motion.
I move that we add to the agenda the issue or the matter pertaining to the amended resolution. I don't know if that's the way I worded it suffices, but
That's appropriate.
is that, thank you. I think there needs to be a second.
Well, I'll second.
I'll second.
Thank you, sir.
Questions or comments?
I re-asked the question.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Got unanimous consent. Alright, majority, unanimous. Go by roll call.
Okay, so District 1, Gene? Nope.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Motion fails. Okay, moving on. Reports, requests, and introduction of ordinance. Building code inspection report. Mr. Rishaw.
We sent out some certified letters, Brad did, and we had a few responses back. And what I would like to go through is a couple of them that we did get back. First, I want to cover old business a little bit, and he's been waiting patiently. He got a letter. We agreed, I think it was the last council meeting or a council meeting before that, to allow him a reasonable time to work on his building. That's on 121 West Main, I think is that address? South Main. And he has worked on the front of the building, replacing rotten wood, waiting on the painter as soon as the weather cuts a little slack where the woodwork will dry. He's gonna repaint the front of the building. He also tore the back part of the building down that I had issues with, where it was all rock falling down the tin. They did get that torn out. And also, he did do some electrical work that was exposed on the outside of the building. So he's proceeding on as revenue comes in. Like I told him earlier, the biggest issue I still have is that left side of the building where a vehicle back from the inside and pushed that building out. That's what makes it look as bad as it is. It's not really structurally as bad as it may look, and on the inside it doesn't look as bad as it does on the outside. So that would be probably their next move, is getting that straight and then building a little halfway reasonably be safe. So I just want to say that on his behalf. I think he is trying to get that built. Structurally on the inside, that thing's solid cement match. That thing is structurally sound. I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. But anyhow, let's go with.
And a letter on. What did he have a letter on? He's throwing something on?
Well, he was asked to give a progress report, to come in and do a progress report, so I kind of just gave a progress report on what he's doing. And I think you'll see that if once we give somebody X amount of days to do something, we'll ask them to come in and give us a progress report. You may see that coming down sometime. Okay, 346 North Baru says, are those people in here?
Yeah.
That's you? Okay.
I got Sean called me today about it. He said, go ahead, Sean.
Do you want to address the council on your intent of what you want to do with the building?
I'm planning on selling it. I mean, they do have some broken windows, but once they replace it, it doesn't have, I don't know if it's breaking them, but my son did put some windows. I know there's some wood for breakers in the road, but trying to sell it.
You have a lot of rotten siding on it, rotten seals, floor seals, so the house is really deteriorating bad. Almost to the point it's almost ridiculous to try to save it, but I'm not telling you to tear it down. But we normally, when I have individual like you in front of the council, I want the council to give you a deadline, or you give the council an opinion on how long it's going to take you to either tear it down or get it in compliance.
I do have some, I did have a for sale sign. I see it's not.
We can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
There you
said
go.
there is a for sale sign that was in the front when I passed. Before I came here, it's not in the yard. I don't know. Justin pulled it up when he was cutting the grass or whatever, but.
Would 60 days be a good start for you, Sean?
How long?
60 days to start? And see where you come back to the
If
council?
it doesn't sell, we'll get there down myself.
Okay.
Okay.
60 days.
If the council is on agreement with allowing her 60 days to
Yeah, now I'm gonna replace the windows and, you know.
siding, black seals, and if you want to, I'll give you my cell phone or whatever it takes to reach out there and try to tell you what I think it's going to take to get it within compliance, which is property maintenance. Okay, so 60 days, would like to have a report from you to give to the council on what's happening out there.
He gave you 60 days, but if you need more time, if you start on it, council will give you more time.
Yes, that's right. Is Mr. Leger in? Which one? Is that the Toby Leger? That's you? Okay. Didn't I speak to you on the phone a few months ago?
That's my complaint, yes, it is.
And
I have a question for the town.
sure,
It's nothing personal, by the way, Mr. Short.
okay.
What's his pay, not his pay, how does he get paid? Did he get paid some money to inspect that old building and send me a letter? Or is it like a salary that y'all pay him every month, the same amount of money, and he does this for the town? No way. By the property? He's paid by the property that he inspects.
Can we answer this question? Okay. When I do a special report like this, the city pays me $50.
No, I don't need to know that.
No, yeah, you asked what I get paid. I get paid $50 to come, to send an inspector over here to take pictures, to spend an hour or two to write this report, and come over here on council meetings and meet with you people to try to get you to maintain the property.
Okay.
So I get a $50, which I'll probably lose $200. By saying that, what is your point?
My point is that before I purchased the building, came meet him, told him my plans. I'm buying it to tear it down. The building needs to get that done. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. He told me what to do, which was to call you. I did. You returned my call promptly, a couple hours. I told you my plan. So why go through all this?
Because I would like for you to tell the council a time limit so the council will understand what your progress is. 1 month, 2 months, a year? What is your plans?
Well, like I told both of y'all, I don't have the money to demolish it. And I don't want to demolish it. I want to save the lumber in it. It's full of tongue and groove, like you mentioned a while ago. I want to save that. I'm doing it myself. I've already hauled out, I don't know, 4 or 5 trailer loads of junk that was there, burned it, threw it. You know, you can't go to the building right now. We're in July and August. It's 110 degrees in there. Somebody will die. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's not moving as fast. And believe me, I don't disagree with you. I told y'all the building needs to be torn down. My complaint is, why did you go through the trouble when we spoke?
Because I was asked to by the city and by the council members to pursue all the properties that are given to me through the mayor that have issues. That's my job, and that's why I'm here. Because I was asked to, and that's why we send you letters along with several other people, to come here and address the council on what is your intent of that bill, so they can hear it directly from you and not me.
But the building's getting torn down.
When did you purchase the building? I'm just curious, like dates.
Was it this year?
Oh, yeah.
This year?
3 months ago, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that was our question. So
Yeah.
you purchased the building, you came to the county and got the permit to do the, like say, your projected time to have the building turned down, fully torn down would be when? Okay, no, I'm sorry. Mr. Cooney went in with that, right? So when do you anticipate you have the building down by? I mean, I know it's July and August, like you said. So your plan would be to have it done in the next couple of months, or the end of the year?
For Mardi Gras. That's my plan.
February.
Six months, and then come back in 6 months.
6 months.
We just need, okay, but the 6, 12.
And if you're
1
continuing
and a
to
half,
take things out of the building,
give us
it's
a
your
number.
process.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't find it.
Right,
Then
well,
I found
not always.
a secret room that has 7 jukeboxes, a pool table, like 40 mattresses. So you see, it's not just there, now it's clean.
Go one.
And then the dumpster's only open for days a week.
We'll do yours enough.
I just said my
Don't you try to?
6 months.
Is it next February?
It's 6 months.
6 months, open, there you go.
And it goes on February 5th.
And Mr. Toby, what we'll do is follow up with you. You probably have my cell phone. You know, just like Mr. Wimber said earlier, all we're trying to do is get people to commit something to the city on cleaning it up. That's all we
I have
ask.
a problem with that ordinance at all. I think I was at the meeting when they passed. But just for $50, sounds like you losing money.
Well, yeah, we'll get rich off of it. But anyhow, I got you documented as 6 months. Okay.
I'm getting old, fella.
The other one that we did get a reply back was from Acadia Parish, which I'm not sure what we're gonna do since Acadia Parish owns the house.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Coon, I forgot about it. I'll take care of
Okay.
Well, we want a time then.
it. One day,
One day?
right to that.
How about if I give you one?
I give you a time, day, I give you, okay, so what you say, one day.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put 1 month so you can tell us that at the next council meeting. How's that?
And the address on Apple?
That's the last.
526.
He said.
That's a kind of a house that got abandoned for whatever reason, Todd put more
It
light.
got abandoned because of the grant for the Acadia acquisition project, which buys 5 houses per year based on a grant application. It's a flood zone or if it's a damage to that.
Oh, that's it.
This had,
But since Brad's the attorney for Acadia Parish, he can really take care of it.
yeah, that's one day.
Is there anybody else here that needs to address us, that got no letter that I don't have? Okay, the other one that I want to address is, it's been a kind of an issue that's CJ Towing. I spoke to, was Mr. CJ again, Towing? Okay, I spoke to Mr. CJ probably as far back as March and told him what I needed for building codes is concerned. One is to submit us plans of the office, and 2 is to submit the plans to the State Fire Marshal's office for approval for his towing company. I have not seen those plans or a fire marshal review letter yet. When it comes to zoning issues, I try to stay out of that. That's a city issue with zoning. Not sure what's happening there. Maybe the mayor can address that portion of it. But up in here, there's a lot of friction with CJ and Ford. But I don't think, I think I spoke to you several times ago. Did you ever come up with a plan?
No, I did not. As of right now, my question, when initially, I was told that,
Can you stay in service?
initially I was told that I need to talk to Tom. On the building, I have to pay the city to get the building moved to the church hall. And it's a GE building with a 1 foot to the court. And I've left several messages, came in person. I'll get back with you. I'll get back with you. And here today, nothing has happened. But I have been approved with Louisiana State Police and the Acadia Parish Sheriff Department to operate.
Yes, sir, but to operate in the city of Church Point, you need to get what we call a certificate of occupancy from me, which means I need submittals to see if your building
It's
is
a 12 by 20 G.
I need plans submitted to us so we can do a review. If it's truly a GE building, GE modular building, you should have paperwork that says that. That gives me a wind load design on that building and all that type of stuff.
I purchased the building from Lafayette Bowling Lane. They shut down. It was hooked up to the mall in Lafayette. I purchased the building and got a permit, brought it in. And that
Well,
was,
either way, it has to be submitted, the plans through us, also to the State Fire Marshal's office for approval. That's any business. I don't care if it's a snowball stand or a apartment complex. We need plans submitted to us as well as the Fire Marshal's office for building compliance. Building compliance only. I'm not getting into zoning compliance. That's another story. As many as you submit that to us, within 2 or 3 days, I'm gonna have a review back to you. Fire Marshal might take 2, 3, 4 weeks to get it back to you, but we have a fast turnaround. That's where I stand.
okay. So right now, the ball is in your court.
No, sir, the ball's in your court to get me some
But
plans.
the zoning it's commercial property. It's zoned for.
Like I said, I don't make no shots or calls when it comes to zoning. That's a city issue.
Now, to answer you back, to be clear on everything, CJ, you, from the beginning, I said, as long as you comply, I have no issue with it. The only rebuff that I've heard, going back in time, is that your compliance. to be compliant. Now, a while back, I did get back in February, I got a bunch of phone calls that you had a grand opening. Okay?
It wasn't a grand opening.
Well, I got the phone call saying there was a grand opening, you know, and that caused an uproar. People asked me, why did you issue in this? I said, I never issued the man anything. Okay?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get that taken care of.
And the only other issue besides that was, prior to that, was people calling in saying they didn't want whatever you was gonna be opening. I'm not gonna make the definition of what it is. In that district, you know, there was I think they even had a petition. They didn't want that opening up in that district. And there were people against whatever it was that you were opening. I think the mayor even still has a copy of that petition
I have no knowledge
in
of
that
that.
district. Well, the mayor has a copy of that petition.
So can y'all tell me what the
CJ, it
business
doesn't
is?
matter if there's a petition or not, if it's zoned that way, you have a right to have it, okay?
That's your problem.
So it's not an issue in my mind
It's
right
a
now.
legal business.
That's right.
So
Been 20 years.
It's a towing business, I'm sorry?
Right, CJ's towing, it's a towing company.
See, if you verify by the state police, the parish, just submit your stuff to Mr. Cooney for your building, and you can operate as far as I'm concerned. That's it. The petition is fine, but the petition doesn't change zoning.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, we'll get that taken care of.
Good deal. Okay, the other thing that I want to mention, and this is more of a help from the police department, like if they don't have nothing else to do. But I asked this question to the chief of police at Scott. We work real close together where they, and I'm gonna use Tallgrass as an example. They, with a complaint through the mayor's office, whatever, they go write a citation, just like they would write a citation for a speed violation or a stop sign violation. It's a citation of ordinance number blank blank, grass in excess of blank tall. And that is a ticket, basically, and it has the same process as a ticket would be for a traffic violation. And I was asking Brad, is that the type of ordinance that we have that and what Scott calls that officer is a ordinance compliance officer.
Yep.
In other words, any ordinance that's written, he is in charge of seeing to it that that ordinance is enforced properly, and if not, citation is written.
Yeah.
And that makes it legal right in front of where they gotta come up in front of the,
Yes, yes, we do have that in the ordinance. The only question I have, I'll give it to chief, is the citation is written, I think it says Louisiana criminal citation something, not civil, because I don't see this as a criminal citation, I see it as a civil citation, because you don't want to tall grass going on somebody's criminal record as being a criminal act,
right.
as opposed to a civil act. I'll check on that, but I know, I put it in the ordinance specifically that that could happen.
Yeah, and what it means
But
too.
you want to write it on a criminal ticket.
It helps,
You could get a separate type of summons book
right,
for that, like you said, it wouldn't be a criminal offense.
right. I know, I talked to Chad Leger about it, and I mean, the violation goes right in front of the,
Yeah.
magistrate.
Yep.
And I mean, $100 a day or whatever that fine is, it's just like a traffic ticket. I would like to see something like that enforced if the council would be in favor of it.
I would do that, I would do that demolition slash dangerous dilapidated building condition ordinance, but I'm almost positive, I can pretty much tell you yes right now, it is in there.
Right, somebody's right.
Oh, yeah. So,
Okay, I just
that's
wanted-
definitely there. The report,
I wanted
and I'm
to
pretty
address
sure I
that.
have the ability to give a ticket for it, which is there too.
I thought we could add in there that ability to take the car was on blocks and everything. wasn't
That's
that?
part of it too.
Yeah, that's a part of that.
That's part of it too. It's
Yeah,
called junk vehicles.
Right, I remember that.
To Mr. Coon, Mr. Risho's point, when we initially sought out to implement the inspector project, we first thought about possibly having an officer, kind of like a citation officer, but if you recall, Chief, the concern was whether or not you wanted to get one of your officers away from, you know, the day in and day out business of law enforcement, right? So I clearly feel that we need an individual to be focused on just grass and that sort of thing, because actually we have 2 ordinances. The first ordinance was to address tall grass. That's the ordinance that I initially introduced, and that was for yards and refrigerators and all this sort of thing piled up in yards. Then we came back because we realized that we hadn't addressed the issues pertaining to buildings and structure. So since there are 2 ordinances on the books, you're addressing the building structures, so clearly it would help if we had an individual to address the other ordinance. I am not in support of pulling a police officer off of their regular routine.
Only problem would be, if I'm not mistaken, that'd be a civil matter.
It's civil matters.
The
The town didn't need a civil code enforcement officer
Right.
for grass.
You see, the police will be criminal, and for criminal court, and it will be issued for a civil court, so this officer would be able to decide on a civil charge.
Absolutely, because it's not called, it's called a mayor's court, that's just a formal term of the town jurisdiction court, believe it or not. Why, I don't know, but that's usually what it's called.
So Brad, for the few times that we get a complaint, in what, how hard would it be just to contact the police department besides before we issue a citation?
I don't think it's a problem, I just want to make sure that the ability to do that is in the ordinance. You don't have it right in front of you.
The only thing I think you have is a civil citation. Somebody don't like you, just start calling them
Oh, no, but
complaints.
it
You
is.
know?
Exactly, exactly, because it's very subjective.
Why can't he issue a citation? It's a
Because
civil
he doesn't want
citation,
to.
it's a civil citation, it's not a criminal, you don't need a police officer, as a matter of fact,
That's
police
why I
officers do
just
not
say
get
that.
involved in
So
civil
you can
stuff.
appoint a
you
code
can-
enforcement officer.
Right, he can write the citation for it.
It might be
It's a
Richard,
civil
might be
offense.
Richard Avenue,
Well,
might be Richard Avenue is the code enforcement
I
officer.
know how it's handled in the other cities, and you may be right, but the but is, it's not, even though it's a whopping $50, it's not worth my time to come and do the grass policing. And what we do in Scott is that I address the dilapidated buildings. And I even write them up, just like I do right here. I even give a copy to Chad Leger, the policeman in Scott, and say, Chad, here's my report, go write them up. Like that, no certified letters, the police officer delivers it, gets them to sign it, show up in city court and address it, or the council and address it. It's a short, faster method of what we're doing here. And I know y'all probably overloaded.
One of my nephew used to be a court enforcement officer in Scott.
Yeah, we're very close with Mark.
My nephew, and he run.
That's right.
His job.
Me and Mark worked like this together. We would show up at buildings together and write them up. That's a perfect example right there. Which Mark you used to go.
A lot of poor people in this town. Stepping on some toes there, what you don't like, that might not.
Well, I take a cousin for a meet, so
Look, if
it
I want
would
my
be a
grass,
warning the first time.
I want my grass to be a foot tall in business. It's embarrassing.
It's mine, I don't want your yard to be that long. I'm cutting mine, so you should cut yours. I want my place to
Well,
not lose
maybe I
value
can't
because
cut
you
it
don't.
sometime.
But my place lose value because you don't take care of your place. That don't make sense to me.
I didn't say ugly, if I wanted a foot tall, but cut a foot
It's
tall.
not the ordinance, ordinance is exempt. You have to stick to the
Well,
ordinance.
that's kind of my point, the ordinance, it's un-American.
Didn't you bring in mosquitoes because you don't finish grass?
I-
Arachnids, mites,
Again-
everything that.
Again, I don't think we're around policing grass that's not weeds. That's why we asked for the complaint to come from the mayor's office. Because everything that we addressed with grass, it's not grass, it's weeds, it's bushes, it's blackberry bushes. That's all.
And the ordinance, the ordinance is pretty, has a lot of leeway, right? Because I said, I introduced that ordinance, and it doesn't say just grass.
No, sir.
All right? It says grass, it says refrigerator, and it specifically indicate things that are just piled up in someone's yard, right? Because if we're going just on grass, then how do we address the issues in the town where the grass is long, but it's public property.
Yeah. No, it's
So who
a
do
little
we,
bit
you know what
more
I'm
than
saying?
just
So
all
it's
grass.
not
That's-
just about the grass,
No, I agree.
but it's, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But
But
I don't use the word just grass. We
Right.
use nauseous. We know that. I don't use that. Nauseous.
I'll let you pronounce it for me. Yeah. Looks bad.
Yeah. That's what it means.
Anyhow, that, I just wanted to bring that up.
Do we give an ordinance to the
We
city?
do that in other areas. Okay, Mayor, unless y'all have any other
Any
questions?
questions? Any more questions?
I got a question. I got a letter from Mr. Brad Andrews that I'm supposed to be at this meeting tonight. I don't know what I'm supposed to be here for.
Glad you brought that up. What's your name?
Kenneth Happens.
Mr. Habits, you mind standing up and tell us what you're doing with your property?
Yeah.
Just
Just
ask
have it,
anybody that-
I asked a minute ago if there was anybody else.
Well, you
here.
jumped right in and I didn't have a chance.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
You jumped right.
Yeah, I have you for 2 mobile homes. Now, one was taken down to the steel frame the last time I passed by there, and all the trash was still piled up in the front yard. And that was the last time I passed. I didn't go by today. And the other mobile home, it looked almost like you have a homesteader in there. Somebody was boarding up the windows, and from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, they using the neighbor's water for
I
inside that
have no
mobile.
idea about that. I actually really do not own the property. I was purchased through a tax sale. And I don't want to go spend money on fixing up something that I don't own yet. And maybe, Mr. Councilman, you could tell me, Counselor, what's my options? I've been paying taxes on it, giving you property taxes to the city, hoping, but I don't really take ownership, if I understand it correctly, for 3 years.
I can't answer that question. I certainly won't give you legal advice from this city because I don't work for you, I work for the town. But I will tell
I'm
you this,
hoping you get the
that's an
town.
unintended consequence of law. Aren't you a lawyer?
I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, I thought you were, excuse me.
No,
I will not give
I
you
never
legal advice
intended to.
from this seat, but I will tell you this, you talk to your attorney about it because I'm not going to interpret that law for you. What I will tell you is, we have laws in this town, and the laws in the state of Louisiana, as long as it have to be followed. If it's an unintended consequence of that law, that you bid on it, therefore that property should be taken care of as though you are the quote-unquote owner. And you really are the owner, you're not entitled, but in fact you are, in law you are, until those taxes are redeemed, sir. So I would leave my advice at that for you. 'Cause I can
So,
tell you, don't
let
think
me
I'm
ask
right,
you
you
this.
consult with your own attorney, but I can tell you this, you are responsible for any property that you pay the tax on. I have property, that's what I just told you to write me up right now, with this tall grass ordinance. And I don't own it.
We had
I don't own
something
it, it's
similar.
not my
well,
little sale,
I'll
but
be
I'm
honest with
responsible
you, it's
for it.
very similar to the piece of property that the Acadia Parish owns, adjudicated property. If I did not purchase that, Acadia Parish would have that property. How would you handle that piece of property?
Katy Parish, how would I handle that piece of property? I'll tell you how I handle it tomorrow, you're gonna find out. I'm gonna call and say, you need to do something with it, or the town's gonna demolish it, you're gonna pay for it, we're gonna take your property from you.
I don't have a problem with that, because I don't own the property right now.
You have a lien
You
against
don't like
it,
it,
there'll
you
be
do.
another lien against it.
And then what?
Well, somebody has to pay the lien off for whatever it costs, because what we've done in Grove Bridge, Mr. Brad, similar to this, where somebody took the property, tax sale, and just, they said abandoned it and used the same excuse he did. The city went in there and tore it down, and, well, they got a bid first, and it ended up being about $6,000-7,000 bid to tear it down and clean it up.
That's right, that's right.
And that lien went against the
And that
property.
lien, that tax sale that you bought the property for 50 cents, or 80 cents, or $2, or 18 bucks, is now turning into about 25,000.
Exactly.
And guess who's responsible for it? The person who comes to the council and argues it's not their property.
Right.
That's who pays for it.
Because it's on the property, yeah.
We can
No,
do it
there's a
easy or we
lien
can
against
do it
the
hard.
property.
Yes, sir.
And if I do not pay the taxes on the property, it'll go back to sheriff's sale.
Sure,
And we're
sure, you're absolutely right. You're out. But
I
if
have
we
nothing in
put a
property
lien
now.
against you now while you own it, it's you, baby.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I still don't own the property. Yes, I have a right to the property, but I don't own the
Let me
property.
tell you what attorney told us, I'm gonna leave it this. If you're looking for justice, there is none. But I will tell you this, there's no common sense in the law either, but the law is the law.
And I don't have a problem with that. The law is
I'll
the
leave it
law.
at that.
That's correct.
But in his case, if this gentleman cleans it up or whatever he has to do to it.
That's why we're here,
if
told
that-
you heard
no,
everybody.
No, 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 no,
Can't
so,
clean it up.
this is all the, whenever he, if the person that really owns it wants to pay, don't they have to reimburse him everything?
No.
Absolutely. Only that, yes, that's not true, that's right, that's correct.
Yeah, they have to reimburse him everything to own the
Correct.
property.
That is correct, but I'm not giving you more legal advice from the bench. I'm not, in fact, that's a different story. As the town council, I'm not giving you more legal advice on this. Because my legal advice is gonna be taken as it is, misinterpreted like it always is, so other attorneys can give those advice. I'm not saying no way.
But you see, a house trailer is a move. I don't have time.
It's not true, it's not true. It's immovable, and it's immovable unless a declaration of mobilization has been signed that you don't know anything about, sir. So don't say it's immovable because you don't know that, with all due respect. You don't know that. Guarantee you, that property was mortgaged and that trailer was put on there, there's a declaration of mobilization. I can promise you there is, and that makes it an immovable, sir.
That's enough. We need a officer to go over there and write a citation for that guy that's homesteading that mobile home. Evidently he's homeless and he's living in there on borrowed water from the neighbors. And he needs to be forced out of that mobile home.
Wouldn't that just be simple trespassing?
Maybe,
Instead of having law enforcement go and,
but who's gonna enforce the trespass?
this guy.
I think, one thing I will say, anybody that's in problem with the laws and things in this town, just go to the legislature and tell them to change it. That, I mean, I agree with you. It's not fair to you. I don't disagree. There's no fairness in the law. It is what it is. I'm just telling you what it
Well,
is.
I don't have ownership to the property, I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna go spend $20,000, hell, more than that to repair it.
Or you can't repair it, it's gotta be tore down.
And I don't have the right to go move the house and tear it out, it's not really mine.
I will
You
tell
tell me what I gotta
I'll tell
do.
you this, Mr. Allen, if the council gives me permission to try to answer that on their behalf, not yours with all due respect, I'll be happy to do that.
Because I don't have the right to go out there and tear somebody's other property down, because I really don't own it.
Hey,
It's a very
I
good
don't
point.
own it. I went out there and cut the grass and cleaned it up. I did everything that I had to do. Probably nobody's been out there since then.
Listen,
I cut it, cleaned it, picked up all the trash, did everything. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I have no idea. Maybe it's the original owner. Went out there and tore down the other trailer. Not me. I don't know anything about it. If you can find that guy, his name is Jason Dunbar. I've been looking for him.
I've been looking for mine, well, I've tagged.
So if you find him, let me know, and this could be all over with.
And it's
But
also-
I'm not gonna go spend all the amount of money to go put those trailers back in order. I'm just telling you. I mean, whatever you wanna do.
I wouldn't do it either. I certainly don't blame you. It's a very good bar exam question that this whole thing, but the only thing I can think is good about it, because I feel for your
You know,
position.
I'm
Really
not
do,
an,
but I'm not here. to
I'm not
address
an
that.
attorney, I'm not an attorney, as I made clear very early. But I think there's a provision in the law that may allow you, the councilman, to
There is.
expedite this to where I would actually own it prior to the.
Oh, no,
ending.
oh, no, 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 oh, no, oh, no, oh, no, 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 there's no expedite anything as far as that goes. There's something created in the law, and I will say, if the council allows me to say this, is it okay if I talk about this, council?
What are you gonna talk about?
Well, I'm gonna talk about exactly what this man's been talking about for the last 10 minutes.
I just personally think this is a unique situation that I cannot go out there and spend the money or take somebody's property that I do not own. I don't own that piece of property.
Sir, I tell you what, if I could legislate from the bench like you, I'd be in good shape. I'm telling you what the law is, you take it as what it's worth, consult your attorney, you are
Well, as far as I'm
100% wrong on
concerned,
this.
what, at my point right now, I don't know what to do with it, but I've cleaned what I could clean. And as far as me going out there and hauling those trailers off, I'm not touching it, because I don't want another lawsuit or a junk's gonna turn into a $100,000 trailer. I'm not touching it.
We appreciate your comments, sir. We don't live in
Yeah.
a system of anarchy where people just do what they want. We have to follow the law. But your point's well taken. I appreciate your comment.
I'm following the law,
So
just like you're following the law.
No, we follow the law. Our ordinances come right from state law, but your point's well taken. I appreciate your comment on it. If there's anything else, I'm gonna shut up.
Well, but
I don't know we solved
He
any
hasn't been
problem.
resolved, yeah, his.
Oh, no, we didn't solve anything.
Right, and so,
I've only
again,
ran
what are
across
some
this one
options?
time, and that was in Breaux Bridge, and the city council went through whatever steps it took, and for $1.50 a square foot, we had it demoed out and tore down and cleaned up for $1.50, if I remember right, that's what it cost.
The city
And-
just did it?
And the city did it out of their budget, and then they put a lien on that property, and I'm sure Mr. Andrews can explain how that process works, but that's what happened in
Is
Breaux
that
Bridge.
worth our?
That's gonna be our next.
I'm not explaining anything more on this.
Okay, and then this is my point. You put a lien on the property. I don't pay the taxes next year. he doesn't pay the taxes.
Hey, and it's like Lafayette Consolidated Government right now, we got liens on property that's been there for 20 years.
That's exactly right.
And that's
It
just
just
a chance
sits
the
there.
city has to take.
But suppose, and I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Suppose that happens, all right? The city pays to tear down the property, and so now we have the land, which the town puts a lien up against the land. So who maintains the property from there?
The
City
city.
does,
The
and
city.
every time you send
So we
somebody
still-
over there to
so
mow
we're
it,
right
you add
back
to
where-
your lien. Add to
And
your
we're right
lien.
back where we started.
Well, the whole purpose of the ordinance is to give the property where it's pleasant to the eye in a bedroom community such as Church Point. Where it's a choice of the council, not a demand. It's a choice. You have to vote on demolition.
That's right.
You don't have the money to do it, you can't do it. But we have to take necessary steps. We're dealing with Mr. Habits and everybody else who's in here tonight. And these meetings are for this purpose, for you to say what you have to say. And the town certainly appreciates it, takes into consideration.
You don't live in
everything you say.
Church Point, right?
I do not.
Okay.
What's the address of this property?
I'm not sure.
Right on the side of the road.
That is it, down from,
It's down behind,
Fred's, yes, down from
Yeah.
Fred's. The two trailers that have been burnt, one has been burnt or something.
Hey, we looking to clean up our town.
Look, Mr. Habits is no different than anybody else who would be in the same situation. I don't blame him for arguing that point, but he's wrong.
Brad, I have a question, if you can answer this, and it won't be too specific. So I think basically, we're at a crossroad, whereas I think we stated what the town's position is as it relates to the ordinance. Then Mr. Habits,
That's correct.
if he chooses, he can go ahead and sort of let go of the property.
At the
If he
next,
chooses.
tax sale,
Right,
if we don't
whenever,
enforce,
right.
if we don't enforce the rights according to the ordinance that we have, which we are not in an adversarial position with you, Mr. Habits, I don't see your
I'm
town
not
doing
either.
that.
I'm not
But we
either.
have a right to do it, sure, we can understand that,
Sure
I'm
you do.
sure.
I deal with property every day. I know exactly
Well,
what
so do
you're
I. I will tell you this, with all due respect, sir, the law, we didn't force you to go to that tax sale. You did, unfortunately.
saying. I did.
As a result of that, you end up here tonight with a letter from me, it's my job of sending it to you, telling you, we have a problem based on Mr. Richard's observation, expertise, professionalism, and you appear tonight to tell the county, Jeff, here's my plan.
Absolutely, here's
And your
mine.
plan is, I don't have a plan, and that's okay too, that's your constitutional right to say whatever you wanna say in a public setting. And we will accept that, your statement for what it is, and we'll go from there.
Mr. Habits, I have a question for you, sir. About how much time do you feel you need just to simply make a decision? Because I know it's a tough,
Well, I
predicament
don't
right
think.
now.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna go out and spend any more money to maintain this place.
We're
I'm not.
clear about that,
I mean,
yeah.
because, one, I don't have title, the way I view it, I don't have title to the trailers.
Correct, correct.
That's sitting there. I've done what I could do, I cut the grass, I cleaned it up, it was perfect. Now, this guy that he's saying moved there, I have no idea who that is. I thought it might have been the original owner, I just found that out 2 days ago, that somebody was there.
So,
But I thought it might be the original owner, I was hoping I'd come here, that he would be in here, but I don't know.
Well, he may redeem the taxes on you before he
That's
goes to a
fine,
tax sale,
that's
then you're
fine
out.
with me.
but since
That's
we're
fine
dealing,
with me.
since we're dealing with Mr. Habits, again, Mr. Habits, about how much time do you think you need just to simply make a decision and come back to the council?
Well, I'll be honest with you, if he doesn't pay the taxes by this December,
Yes, sir.
it's gonna go back through, or I usually pay the taxes, then that would be the 3 years.
But is it,
So,
And
then
if I'm
at
not lying-
that point, it's mine.
So this year
But
is
we
3
can't-
years.
So just say you need 6 months.
It's yours in December.
I'll sell it. So I'm just saying,
He said
I don't,
He didn't own it.
I don't
You heard
own
him,
it.
huh? We just have to say that, he didn't own it.
I don't own it. But down the road, I'll sell it quickly, believe me, I don't wanna own it.
6 months?
God bless y'all.
6 months would be great, Mr. Habits, is that fair for you,
I
sir?
think it's
Until
reasonable,
the
but,
end of December?
well, like I say, unless he steps forward and pays it, that's fine.
Let me
If
get
not,
this
that would
right,
be
when he
fine.
started the conversation, he said it was 3 years before it becomes his property, and now we're down to 6 months.
No, he bought, but the tax
I
was
bought it
probably
2
2 years
years ago.
2.5
ago.
years ago, right.
2.5 years
Six
ago.
months,
It'll be the third
6 months
year.
from now.
So if the taxes don't get paid by this December again, or if he doesn't redeem it, I'm saying I'll probably pay the taxes. And if he doesn't redeem it, then I'll take ownership of it.
Matthew, I
Then I'll be
think
glad
you're
to
related to
sell
my
it.
daddy somewhere, because I swear to myself.
And I'm gonna walk away and y'all gonna have a piece of property, and you gonna have the same thing.
Yeah, that's a very, I agree with you. It's the only thing I agree with you on, but I do agree with you on that one.
Okay? Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Save your money, Mr. Abbott, you don't need an attorney, take my advice, it's free.
I got one question. Are you brothers with Mr. Habits, the contractor?
Sure is.
You are? Y'all look alike, I'm just curious. Thank you much.
E.L. Habits, the contractor we go to work to for the town of Church's brother.
That's his
You
brother.
got it.
I'm just picking it.
You got it.
I appreciate you coming and,
Yeah.
addressing the council. You know, like we're trying to clean the town up.
I don't have a problem with that at
As
all.
much as we possibly can, and, property maintenance is what I'm saying.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Well, I love a good argument, thank you for coming.
I don't have a problem. I deal with zoning every day. So, thank y'all very much.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
Anybody else in here, not, I think I spent enough of my time.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So can the city lead it and sell it and make money? That's what I want to do.
Okay, next item, alcohol exemption. Alcohol exemption for benefit for Jimmy Stelly to be held at the Saddle Tramp Riders Club on August the 26th, 2017, 1036 East Abbey Street, no type C event. That's the, no, that's not my family. I had a brother, my brother was also named Jimmy Stelly, but he passed away a year and a half ago.
No, what's happening, no, because mine's blacked out.
Yeah, there's a one.
But it's,
Oh,
he has a, this guy has cancer patient, and, he played with local bands. I have a picture of him, on both the boards. Okay, Doc. Any more discussion, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next, also an alcohol exemption for Drew Olivier to be held at City Park Pavilion. It's called A Day for Drew, 101 Darbone Street, September the 30th, 2017. The illness, I think it's a chromosome type illness, that's all we know. And his grandmother is Teresa Olivier, former Churchpoint Elementary School teacher.
St. Charlie is Teresa's.
Teresa.
So it's the Bouchard family.
Okay? Do I have a motion? Exempt?
I'll make a motion. Go right ahead, Councilman.
I'd be so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any more questions, discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, letter D, a request change of date for alcohol exemption to August the 26th for the annual car show of the Church Point Volunteer Fire Department to be held at Church Point City Park Pavilion. As you know, the car show was canceled this weekend because of the weather, and they're trying to get another date.
Okay, there's gonna be a discrepancy here. But Jimmy Stella's gonna be August 26th, and the car show's gonna be.
Saddle Tramp.
Oh, okay, Saddle, okay, all right.
And they already contacted me and spoke to me about that, and I said, well, we'll have two.
Well, it's two different places, it's two different locations. And I'll second.
George, second. Any more questions, discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Okay. Next thing is the closing comments. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight and supporting our community, even though the weather's poor. Really appreciate you coming out and voicing your opinion, and this is the way we get things down for. Also, as you see, our city council members wearing red t-shirts. We attended the LMA convention this past weekend to learn more things, better ideas about the town, new rules, regulations, and so forth. And there was a lot learned as far as attending these meetings. It wasn't a party, it was attending meetings. Our next city council meeting is scheduled for September the 4th, which is Labor Day. I'm asking the council if you'd like to change this to Monday, September the 11th. We'll have the,
I'll make that motion.
Labor Day is a day of work, so we should have. You know, hey, growing up on a farm, Brad knows. All that was rice cutting season, we worked.
y'all made a motion?
I'll second.
Any more discussion, comments? Yes.
Do we have an update on the Garen plant?
Okay, just a second, you'll finish it this way. Okay, any more discussion, questions concerning the changing of the council meeting from the 4th, September the 4th to September the 11th? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay. To the left. Okay, Chief, any comments?
Only thing I'd like to mention that we have the meeting here, if she could emphasize the curfew, trying to restrict enforcing the curfew. A lot of kids roaming the streets at all hours, and the officers are, they will be charged with the crime. It's at 10 o'clock, weekends is at 10. We know weekends is 12 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Yeah.
That should come to an end because of school
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are roaming, sleeping at all hours.
This is everyone 17 and younger.
Yeah, adults are probably.
Still up to the last
Okay, in case there's any of y'all that don't know me, my name is Lieutenant Avenue. I'm a shift supervisor for the police department. All right. Biggest problem we have is with the housing authority. I'm gonna tell you right now, the housing authority, I don't know what they do, but they have policies, procedures for their own properties, okay? There are several spots in the city that we're having problems with people who live in the housing authority, all right? We're having kids hang out in the parking lot all night long, all right? They're damaging vehicles. There's other kids coming to hang out with them that don't even live in those areas. And there's a lot of friction going on. We had a bunch of problems last weekend. Basically, on Sunday, after dealing with it Friday and Saturday night, on Sunday, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I took my whole crew down there because we had another issue. And I basically told all the parents, your kids are going to get one warning to get out the parking lot and get off the sidewalk. The next time, we're going to bring them to the police station. We're going to hold them until their parents get up there. And we're going to start citing the parents for improper supervision of the juvenile. There's no reason at all those juveniles should be hanging around in the parking lot where the cars are, or all up on the sidewalk. All of them have grassy areas in front of their residential, in front of their houses, they have courtyards. Okay? They have curfews. The housing authority has their own curfews in some of those areas. They don't do anything about it.
I'm sorry, officer, I apologize. I didn't know if you were done. I have a question for you. So I know there's a housing unit in my district, and I believe Councilman Wimberly, who's actually in charge of the housing? Now, who's the executive director now? Mayor?
Stephen, I'm sorry, Stephen Bishop.
Okay.
I mean, we tried to
So,
work, as far as our.
what is she,
I know we
have
tried
she,
to work
has
with
she
the
been
housing.
addressed? Has she been, is she
She's been
aware?
addressed many issues in the past, I know,
Uh-huh.
okay? We've tried to address issues with them in the past and gotten no help. And then when everybody finally stopped, now there's a letter hanging on the wall of the police department saying if you have issues, call.
From, and that letter is from?
It's got everybody's name. Everybody that's involved with the housing authority.
To make a correct exchange,
Right.
where it's gonna work.
Right.
You know,
I mean-
we'll comment on the changes, but anyway, I met with some of the board members and all that.
In one place, one section you have me in the juvenile. The other section you have me in the admin. We know what's going on in those sections, okay? But it's basically like private property. They live there, they can have as many friends over as they want, okay? I can't go up and go in the forest from the street, go up on private property and enforce criminal code, just like I can't do it at anybody else's house here. And they know this.
There's laws, I'm not gonna comment out there because I don't understand. I am the attorney about it, but they don't be, that's okay. It's not a problem. It doesn't have to be involved anyway. But there are laws, for the housing authority, HUD mandated laws that must be followed, including what you just said. I'll leave it at that. I'm not speaking of housing authority.
And a lot of criminal activity we're having in one area is coming from this area.
Coming from where, officer?
A lot of criminal activity we're having from these two areas
Yes, sir.
are mainly coming from those areas. One's from the juveniles, one's from the adults.
Absolutely.
But they have their own rules they have to follow, but it's almost like they issue these rules and they just throw them away.
Is there some way, and I'm actually asking Councilman Wembley, well, Brad, this is for you as well. Is there some way that as a council, we can address this issue with the housing? Either go submit a letter or speak directly to the executive director, and if that doesn't work, we take it to the next level.
My recommendation would be
Yes,
to
sir.
the officers would be if they have anyone out there to get the names, who the kids are, the parents, and they submit it to the housing authority.
And then once you all do your part, then what assurance will we have, and I'm saying particularly Councilman Wimberly and myself, that the housing authority will follow up on either your recommendation,
Then our chance.
because you understand what I'm saying? Because you guys do all that you can do, and then once it gets on the desk of the executive director, then there's nothing happens.
The only sure way that you're gonna know who these kids are is if you pick them up, bring them to the station, they call it. Because technically by law, we can't ask a lot of questions.
Correct.
Most of them are not gonna give us their right information anyway.
Why can't you do that? Isn't that your job to police the whole city? Why can't you just pick them up?
We can pick them up, but we
Why
can't
ain't you
hold
doing
them.
it?
We are, okay?
Okay.
We're getting ready to start. We're trying to give them a chance and try to find.
It sounds like you're trying to get the HUD to be your police, and when you're the police, I mean, it's not
No,
HUD's
but
job.
the HUD's gonna take the time to make their own rules and have to follow the rules by the
I'm
state.
sure they
They
can't
do
go
it
over the
and start.
police over there. Pretty
The,
sure.
the issue is, the HUD, the police can go on HUD property.
And you're reading his rights before. You must have a current presence and you must read him his rights.
The only thing I could ask them
I
is
don't know
that.
anything about that.
I can ask them where they live.
What they-
But I can't hold them or ask them any other questions
Officer,
by law.
Are y'all having the same
It's not
trouble
property on property,
on
it's
Wembley
property
Street?
subsidized property.
as,
Wembley Street, the
that's
housing
mainly
authority-
older people.
Yeah, the housing
You know.
authority on Wembley Street, the only problem we're having over there is between this person not liking this person. And I mean, that's silly. That's
Yeah.
nothing. That's already been addressed. The main two problems that we're having are the two completely different ends of town.
Broadway,
Broadway is one of them, and the other one's back here off of, correct.
Officer, my primary concern, and I'm referring to the one in my district, is when you say that there are youths and also adults that don't even live in those apartments. Because if that is true, then that's a violation of the housing policy.
And there's a lot of
Okay,
violations.
and therefore, if the housing, and I hate to say the executive director, but whoever's in charge, if that individual is deliberately allowing the violation of housing, of HUD policies, and then it's coming to the council, then we will have no choice but to say, HUD, the current person in charge is clearly allowing violation of his own policy.
Board to appoint. That's the whole purpose of bringing it.
Isn't that, Mayor, that's, you appoint the board and the executive, and I don't think it's a board issue. It's not a board issue. It's not a board issue, because we're council members, so we give our input.
You
and
have
vote
a
on.
board member in here, and I'm pretty sure it's not a board issue.
Well, yeah, and I know you are a board member,
I
correct?
mean, she is.
Right, I was referring to you. But again, the point is that there's a board, and that the board have selected a director, a person in charge to ensure that the policies and procedures of the HUD facilities are maintained. And if it is not happening, then I don't think we should jump on the board, but we clearly should question the director. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'd like to make this clear, it's nothing to do with the board or anything. The only thing I want to do is to put on the newspaper to inform the parents, know where your kid's at or something like this,
Not everybody gets a newspaper.
And, or whatever.
But I mean, the enforcement, how do you get the police to go out there? You have to get the police to do it.
Right.
True,
Yeah,
true, unless you end up with policing yourself.
I'm with y'all that you need to write a letter to Christine and say, get your ass
Trying to
here.
find out how to attach the director, whether
If you don't
somebody
have
knows.
The director, she does it. She works in the
And I work,
office.
but she doesn't work when I work. All
Yeah,
we have to do
I'll
is
get
tell
it.
her, just tell her, I've been asked to bring it up.
If don't call one, then she'll get a halter?
Here's,
The way we handle it is when there's a complaint filed, someone's arrested in the project, with the information is brought to the director, and she usually takes care of it. Because it looks like she's gonna be on the ball,
who's that, chief?
Miss Christine.
So are you feel that maybe it's still early in her, she's in her role, and that maybe this is
I feel
something?
confident that it's gonna be, she's gonna address the problems, and I think she's gonna put them out, if they're arrested in there.
Wanda's gonna say about tomorrow morning, don't
I know
worry.
she will. She's gonna bring it up, it'll be taken care of.
She'll be there no
So I was
more.
wondering, has she been addressed already about these issues?
Good point.
Well, there's no way that she probably doesn't know, but I can tell you, some of the parents over there, one
No,
of
no,
the
has she been addressed is a question.
Kind of like,
Yes
has
or
she
no?
been formally?
Not, well, I think so, or something through email somewhere, has she
She does,
been
well,
addressed?
she does not get insurance.
But I'm gonna get with
Okay. All right, Mr. Como, closing comments.
Thanks, folks.
Jen?
Thanks for coming.
Same thing, thank y'all for coming. School buses start running on Wednesday. Be aware of that. Those stop signs that come out on them are very, very important. We have special cargo, good to worry about that. That seems to be an issue that doesn't seem to be very important to some people, but to the people. Thank y'all.
Now,
Thank you all for coming. The weather is nice, as you know, so, Chief, thank you for your input. Please keep us posted, if you will, on the housing issue. We want to hit the crime and all this stuff.
okay, Mr. Fonte? No. Public comments? Okay, that's a couple of minutes.
Once again, thank you all for your support, and happy to say that you do have a clear title to a new Presbyterian museum.
Sorry, I can hardly hear you.
I'm sorry, so thank you for your support. I want to let you know you do have a clear title to a new Presbyterian museum, and therefore we will have a proposal for you next month for some improvements as well. I'm very excited to be part of the improvements that are taking place in town. And I want to report to you that we are very excited to have had a special visitor, Mr. Alcus Trahan and Ms. Linda Woodrow, who were both instrumental in moving the building, preserving the building, and bringing it to its present location. This was the second series of interviews that we had. We're trying to develop a local oral history of the museum. Remember that a few months ago, former Mayor Harold Lowe and Benny Gidry visited for the same reason. We got our fingers crossed because Mr. Trahan can get in touch with Dr. Ed Casnu, who was the original architect for the restoration of this family. We hope to have him over for an interview real soon. So once again, blessed to be part of the restoration and revitalization of Church Point.
Mr. Logan.
Yes, sir. How everybody doing today? All right, Lord, we just want to let everybody know we had a great event yesterday we put on for the kids. My partners with the unit and the community, Gene Marlboro, CJ, Greg Bellard, that's usually doing the filming. We had a lot of other people that contributed and helped and showed up. It was Spanky did some donations, and the chief was in the building. We had the police officers in the building. So, it was a nice time. The mayor came, showed some love. Still waiting on some donations from a few people, but I ain't seen that. But we had a great time, man. The kids really enjoyed themselves. And this is what we're really trying to do. We're trying to really change the time. It's going to take, like they say, it takes a village. It takes a whole community to raise each one of these kids. And some of them really don't know. They really have no guidance. A lot of the parents either work all the time or they're doing other negative things. So a lot of the kids, they raised in a lot of negative environments. So it's up to people like us to try to lead them in the right direction and give them some guidance. And then we can bring this town, up and up. Get Church Point golden again, man, because it's a nice place. A lot of people say, oh man, I hate Church Point. It's not the town, it's the people in the town. So the negativity, it reflects us as well, so it's on us to step our game up and do a better job. But we thank everybody that participated, get those donations to us, and we got some more events coming along this year. We'll try to do another one at the park on this side of town. So, anything we can do to help you guys, let us know. And, we thank y'all for y'all support.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Ms. Ellis?
I have a question to ask Albert. Albert, when something is stolen and you'll find it, and you'll bring it to the police department, you're not responsible for that?
Yeah.
Why is it that camera, that very expensive camera was found, brought to the police station, never returned to the owner, and it went missing in the police department?
Can't see now, but I will find out. That was from your grandson.
Right, you came to my house and told me yourself that y'all had found the camera, and it went missing in the police department.
Not sure if it's missing, but I know we had the computers and all that stuff. It was
Well, he had the computers,
Yeah.
he had a bunch of computers. He had two very expensive cameras.
Yeah,
Y'all
hold
did
on,
find,
evidence purposes, right?
Yeah, but I'm not
The
sure.
trial,
I'll have
right?
to check on this.
Can't say hold evidence.
y'all did
Right.
find
No,
it.
but if
Y'all
property
did
was-
find the TV, and his money was returned. But the camera you told me, and the camera had been brought to the police department. When you find something that's stolen, where is it put?
Oh, that's locked in there.
In the evidence room? Who has the key to the evidence room?
We have just one, the one that puts it in there is a key that they have to sign to go inside, and it's video.
Well, if it went missing in the police department, y'all know who it is.
But I'm gonna find out.
I was anxious to know what had happened because you told me that since last year and I had never heard anything about it yet. There's two of them that was stolen. One was found, the other one was never found. But we never had it back. Thank you.
But I will find out.
Please.
Booster Club auction, Labor Day weekend, June 2nd and 3rd. Be good this year. 2nd and the 3rd, KEUN Radio. And just asking Albert, the first week or two of school, we have so much traffic around the elementary and the high school. We're at 3 o'clock, 3:10, we backed up on the main street. We try to get the vehicles to go down to North Street, but we're not gonna fight with it if they don't.
What we usually do for a couple of days, which is usually, I'll be honest with you, we usually get at the back gate, and when they're coming out, they take a run, and that lasts us for when we're there.
As soon as
The
you
next
leave,
day, they back gate, and
they
they
call
run.
it the bottleneck coming back on the park. And
Now, the vehicles on Main Street, you know, when they're coming in, that I don't know what to do with them.
well, if we could, if Dale came and looked, if we could get them, and a lot of those are gonna be my people. If we can get them to park on Macmillan and Harkin, and then feed on to Lugar from there, you know, that might help the
If you had
situation.
more children on a bus, maybe you wouldn't have that problem.
What's that?
More kids would ride the bus, you wouldn't have that problem.
So, same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we do what we can.
For a couple of days, I usually go myself out there.
Go on the bus for 12
Now,
kids.
one thing I have a question, there's a sign we had,
bus.
we had a sign that, on the barricade, one with an hour to take a ride, and, I went to their school and it's not there, and nobody.
I hadn't seen that since last year.
Town said they didn't pick it up.
It was still a very.
But you know what I'm talking about, the one with.
Yeah, it was the one on the back.
Maybe they got some extra account, maybe we can lend them for a couple of days when the school starts, which y'all think they have? Maybe they
We're
can
gonna have
have
it. We're gonna have it last summer. I'll check.
I can get the art department to draw one.
Okay, like, Gloria?
Yes, I was asking about the Darren plan, if we could get an update on that.
Okay, we're still under litigation right now, and, as soon as it comes forward, we'll let everybody know what's happening.
I was just wondering what's going on.
Anybody else? Okay? Do I have a
Make a
motion?
motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Anytime.